So when you click next, you're going to get the extension here that explains that you could create an alternative air channel. Let's just have a look. So you can see here that you could move this over because your balloon is going to fit over this lip when we stretch it, and this airflow is coming out of the base. I'm not going to show you how to draw that, but I'm sure that you can work it out from the tools that we've used so far. So we're going to click done, and now I'm going to show you how to create the wheels for your car. You'll see that Tinkercad is going to save your work, and it should bring your car in. Perfect. Okay, first thing we're going to do is drag in a cylinder onto the work plane, and we're going to resize that so it's 20 by 20 and 10 tall. We're going to bring in another cylinder that's the hole, and we're going to size it to 10.5 in diameter, so 10.5 by 10.5, and the height is 10.5. I'm going to click on them and check. Perfect. Now we need to change our snap grid here to 0.5 so that we'll allow it to snap to the center. So it's we're moving at 0.5. So I'm going to then select these two by holding Shift, and you should know by now we're going to align in the center of this object and in the center. Scroll down, group them together. Next step. Now we're going to make the axis. So we're going to bring in another cylinder, and this is 10.5 because it's going to fit in this gap here. 10.5 in diameter, and we're going to make this 45 millimeters tall, and select the cylinder wheel and align them. Okay, we're going to align them before we then move the wheel and duplicate it. So just select the align tool, center here. Sorry, I dropped both of those. Just select them, align in the center, click on this object, align in the center. Click on the wheel. We're now going to duplicate it. And if I hit my arrow key, you can see it's moving it in the wrong direction. So remember what I've said about this little black triangle at the top of the shape. We're going to click that and we're going to drag it up. The distance here is 35. I'm just going to rotate that round. That looks perfect. Click next. We're going to align these and then we're going to group them just to make it easier for the next part. If I keep clicking, so we're going to group them together first. Select them, group them. The reason for grouping them is so that it's going to be easier when I go to place them in this axle here, this hole that we created on the first step. So I'm going to rotate that round. I can rotate it this way. I don't know why I always move minus 90. And now I'm going to select this part and the body, and I'm going to try and align them. Click on the body, align it in the center. I'm going to align it at the back. Now, if you remember when we first drew this section, place that there. It's getting closer to where I actually need it to be. We moved that cylinder 3 up and 5 in. So I'm going to drop it and I'm going to pick up the axle. And I want those to align. It's very difficult for me to see, but I can see just in this gap here. I'm going to move it down. 1.5 is what I needed to move it. Okay, I'm just going to rotate from the back. It looks aligned at the back. It's perfect. Like it. So I moved it down 1.5. Next thing I'm going to do is duplicate that. And I'm going to set my snap grid here to 5. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, which is 40 millimeters. Just rotate it around and just check. Perfect, all aligned. And that looks good. Scroll down. I think we've now completed all of the steps. There you go. So I've got some stars coming out of it. My path seems to have disappeared. I mustn't have grouped it correctly on one of my previous assignments. What you can do now is I can click on everything and I can ungroup. And I can start to think about colour. So this solid here, everything looks orange and red to me. I mean, you can start to maybe add some colour to this to make it look quite nice. Oh, there's multicolour there. Let's have some multicolour on there. Okay, so you can also set things as transparent pink. It doesn't look very transparent. Okay, so you can play with the colours, and then what I would like you to do is send this over to us. We can check in your account, but it's nice if you post this in Teams and show us how quickly you were able to draw it. Good luck, boys.